Okay, now I'm live. We're just waiting on a sound check to make sure that we're making sounds. Oh, we're making sounds. Okay. Hey, look, there I am in a weird twist of fate. Uh, being, I don't know, like a minute in lag time. All right. So Web Presence Wednesday. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about website names, do's and don'ts, because it's not as obvious as a lot of people might think. They might go, "Oh, I have this really great idea. It's really catchy. When you look at it, blah blah blah. It's really smart. It's really funny." And 9 times out of 10, it's not a good idea. Mainly because it's smart, catchy, and funny, and that's why it's not a good idea. Because you're expecting people to be smart. And I don't mean to insult the people in general, but that is the truth. They are not smart. They are not nuanced. When they are looking for goods and services, when they are looking for content, you be kitschy on your time with it. You don't start out like that. Uh, an artist friend of mine, Ania Khan, just released a podcast on branding, and it sort of synergizes with this. And branding is something that Donna and I do. So there's a little bit of that in this. So first and foremost, I want to bring up a meme that actually comes up quite often, and that would be the poor site names meme. Um, uh, it's filled with things like uh, I don't know what that was, but whatever. It starts off with whorepresents.com, which also, if you just change your tense on it, becomes whorepresence.com. And there are many other examples of this. It's not only that, it's being very conscious of how your words can be perceived. Um, when you're choosing a name, uh, you should really spell it out as one word and try and figure out what other words can be created there and whether or not they are desirable for the values of your business, your website, your content, what have you, um, or if they are potentially harmful. I mean, if you're uh, doing an agency for what's the word I'm looking for? Like an agency for representing showbiz talent, not necessarily Pornhub stars. Who represents is probably not going to be your best option because of the connotation of poor presence. I mean, it's just there in the spelling, and there's plenty of other examples of this. And you can have fun with it, but the fact of the matter is that when you're creating a business, you have to remember that you're branding yourself in that sense. That that's going to follow you. That website's going to follow you wherever you go. That is your digital real estate, and you want to make sure that it represents what you want represented. Uh, uh, so first, don't. The first don't is don't make words you don't mean to make when you make your website name. Um, when we look at the Bard and Broad, when we look at uh, Indie Learning Music Tutor, when we look at the network MMA, um, when we look at any of the sites that Donna and I had created, we actually agonized over the name of the site and the name of the project specifically, to make sure that we weren't saying something we didn't mean to say or saying something we didn't want to say. And that's a key consideration. So that's number one. Number one, be aware of your words. Be aware of what words can be made from your words, especially when you spell them out with no spacing.
Right.
Number two, don't try to be cute, funny, or clever. As I said before, people are not clever. They're not smart. You should never consider, uh, well, the traffic I want to be like this. Therefore, I should make my name like this. Um, Putting numbers instead of actual words. Uh, it's an easy way to shorten a link, and back in the day, that was important. Um, so there are websites that feature that, and they feature it mainly because it used to be that was the only way to really shorten a link. Now with Tiny URL, BitLink, and there's a few other uh, websites out there that will actually give you shortened hyperlinks, or you can just hyperlink your website name under your actual page's brand name, um, and that will alleviate that problem. Um Donna's Medicine Woman uses numbers in her website, but I believe it's because her website has actually been there a while.
Well, it's the name of her company also that
Right,
she's utilized the numbers in. And so,
right, since like the beginning.
mhm.
So it's been a
Yeah.
while. So it's like an established thing.
Yeah.
But especially if you're starting out, it's really not a wise choice to start out with, because if you go, oh yeah, it's at, give me
Defiant for you.
yeah, yeah, Defiant for you, but the four is a a
Yeah.
number four instead of four, or being clever and going, well, it's the no it's the spelled out number four. It's just too complicated. Uh, it means that when something that your website can be included comes up, it won't, because it's just too much to explain. I'm not going to give a mouthful of word salad for the number, or the spelled out number, or the actual word for. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna just shoot that one right out of my mind, because that's just too much to work on. I'd rather go with a website with a very simple website name, and that's.
I got lucky. We we lucked out when I came up with Irritate the State. We could just break it down to ITS.
Mhm.
It's and then .net. So
Yeah,
got really feel fortunate there. But I did ponder over it for a minute to make sure it was easy to you know remember.
right. That's our first due. It's got to be memorable. Um, Things that are easy to remember, and easy to transfer out, because you have to realize something. Uh, the people you bring to your website, you personally bring to your website, um, that's not the end of that transaction. I mean, you get somebody to come to your website, you get somebody to buy a product from you, pay for coaching, buy your service, view your content. That's not the end of it. That's the beginning of your transactions with that person, because that person then goes, oh man, I saw this guy playing this video game. This is his website, or this is his YouTube channel. um, and if those things are hard to explain, if those things are hard to get, people are going to miss you're going to miss
Traffic.
contacts. You're going to miss out on traffic. You're going to miss out on potential future customers, leads, and you never know how many steps away that next customer is from being the one that breaks your bank, that puts you on the map, so to speak, for success. So you need to grab at every single lead. Um, you notice I basically, whitewash all social media with all of our projects and all of the networks projects. And there's a reason why. You never know when the next person who looks at your stuff is going to be the person who introduces someone else that is going to make you a household name, make you uh, uh, bring you into the next level. To quote Scott, the next level of your business is just a contact away. It's always just a contact away, and you never know who that's going to be. So you want to facilitate your ability to be reached. Um, so the don'ts so far we have is
The misconstrued or
yes, yes, mixed messages. Hang on, I gotta grab somebody. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, somebody's being a welfare right now. Being a rowdy boy.
Listen, I thought you were hanging out in the laundry.
I thought so too. I put it out there just for you,
Sorry about that.
man.
So, well, you did give him the catnip.
I did.
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
gonna do him in every time.
He was having a sesh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Now he's fast as fuck. So, misrepresenting yourself linguistically in your
With the
website,
name.
and giving unintended messages. Second, being quirky and smart with your branding is a detriment because
Not everybody's on that same level or
right,
has that same sense of humor. You want them to be able to look at your name, your logo, your brand, and deduct what it is that you're doing.
yeah, you don't want. You may want to cater to people who are a certain way, but you will never reach them if you're cutting yourself off at the knees, and that's basically what you're doing when you decide to be like
Well, you don't want it to be like
clever.
hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are talking in emojis now, so I guess maybe you
That's.
can get away with it. But I wouldn't try it. I would
Yeah.
absolutely
Most people can't read that.
think that that's off the shelf. I don't know. Most people under 30
Understand
can.
emojis, yeah,
Most people
but
under 30 can read it now at this point. It's pretty
uh,
scary. But like I said, this is not something that you want to play around with. You want to be definitive. Uh, um, and uh, the one do on the list is um,
memorable.
making sure it's memorable, making sure it's simple. Number two, do there. So be careful of your words. Don't be clever. Make it memorable and keep it simple. Stupid. That's the best way to put it. For the hot list of do's and don'ts. You want to make sure your landing page, your front page of your website, is absolutely 100% clear on what you do, what you're providing, and what you plan to be known for in a market format. None of this stuff is a joke. I mean, you don't have to be super serious about everything all the time, but you do that with your content. You don't do that with how people reach you, and that's the important thing. There is that if people can't reach you, then you're really just going to be running in place. Um, you know, setting up the whole network thing, that was only half the battle. That helps get people's eyes in front of you. It's really up to you guys to keep people's eyes on you. And you can't just do that because, oh, well, everybody needs product X. So I provide product X. So I'll get traffic. There's 1,000 other people providing product X. So you have to use everything to your advantage. Walmart has product X. Amazon has product X, and they have multi-billion-dollar marketing budgets.
Mhm.
So, or multi-million dollar marketing budgets. Let's be honest. But the reality is you don't. So every single advantage that you can get your hands on, that's what you need. Um, I can't really be more clear than that. So website naming do's and don'ts. Some of this other stuff really bleeds into like theory, which will be pushed off to a Thursday thing. Um, but
Proofread. Proofread
yes,
your website.
please proofread your website. Nothing turns more people off than when they're reading something that isn't right. Uh,
They also like it, brief. You don't clutter your site with way too much. It gets confusing to the mind and the eyes and causes fatigue and wears out your client base. So
Listen, kitty, get off the bar.
keep it clean and
Right.
organized to some extent.
A good rule of thumb is go with Twitter-sized blocks of text. I find that that's usually the best way to go. Somewhere between the uh, somewhere that maxes out at that 200 character range. If you're going over 200 characters, then you don't understand your message enough to give it to somebody else that they can quickly grab it and transfer it. I'll take this year as an example. The virus. All right, it's all around us. It's everywhere, and it's really simple to transfer, and people just do it like crazy. It's insane. And
Cat is
my
trying to
my cat's trying to get at the vodka. By the way, he's gotten so
he
high.
ties them on all
He's
day.
he's been driven to drink.
This year has driven a lot of people.
But that's the reality of it. The good analogy, the reason why they call it viral on the internet is because you want your message to spread like a virus does. Uh, Simply, almost subconsciously, you want when someone here's a topic and it's about and your website or your product or your service or your content is about that, they want to go, hey, you may want to check out uh, Bob and his product X because I saw it on his website and he seems to know all of his shit about product X. He explained in this really short thing. He laid it out really easy for me. It was easy to understand. Why don't you check out Bob? He can give you help with product X. And there you go. Now you have a new lead. You have a potential new conversion, and you have a client that you um, just made extra profit off of. You know, your initial sales, especially for things that are durable goods, um, things that are expendable goods. Well, you're always going to get repeat business as long as you are practicing good business. But if you have durable goods, the way to success has more to do with your your durable good purchases leading people into doing more purchases because they're not going to. Um, Add-ons and expansions and what have you all set on the side, your main source of income is going to come from your customers, word of mouth praising you, and being able to translate what your message is. Um, I tell people all the time you're when you're doing your when you're doing a business or you're doing content or you're producing a product and you want to bring it to market, that the people are buying you. That's true. But the reality is that if no one ever sees you because of a bad site name, because when someone types it, they are thinking, well, what does this guy produce? Porn? Or, oh, it was a four instead of a four instead of a four. Or
such a long name that
such
it
a long
gets
name that gets
misspelled, or
right. Oh, their website was down. Well, it could just be because uh, five five hand five eye five horn purple giant purple people. Is that it? I don't remember. But putting purple people eater is probably going to do you a lot better than the whole five whatever giant purple people eater. It's just you don't need to be that specific in the website name. Uh, uh, on a side note to this, even if you don't have everything in place yet, do yourself a favor, secure the domain name now. um, if you are, it's not expensive.
No.
And if you are seriously considering getting into digital marketing, you want to move on your uh, digital real estate before you start your business. We're kind of like halfway trail behind, and we just managed to luck out with the .coms. But if you think that you are going to do something, I would suggest getting your name secured beforehand, so that you can you can re-strategize your marketing around what you can get.
Right.
Just like if you, I don't know how much this is going to date me, but if you were logging into forums and you logged in with your name, um, it use or I guess Google does this with uh, with Gmail. If you try to create a Gmail account and you try to do it with your name, there's already 650 million people with your name.
I got lucky.
Well, I got lucky too.
I know.
But with your name, with numbers behind it, or with different things going on to make it so that they have they have that name, not for any malicious purpose. It just so happens that there are only so many names in the world, and
I know several of me's. Well, not me in particular, but I have cousins that have married Donnas. So
I know several of me's. They all live in my head. It's me again. That's a Megadeth song.
I guess.
So again, just you really want to move on that fast, and you want to be able to secure the proper name, the proper .com. Try to get the .com. It is the most recognized of the what is it called?
Domains.
No, it's got like an official other name. It's something domain. It's like upper domain or something. Anyway, I just the name escapes me of what it is. I mentioned it on one of Katrina's blogs when she was talking about it, and now I'm drawing a blank of what it's called. So that's one of the most popular ones. .net is also things to avoid. Things like .org, unless you are doing
an organization or a charity.
A charity, an organization, or specifically a charity, because that's what people expect when they see .org. They don't expect to be buying merchandise from a seller. There are other whatever they're called, domains. Um, and the name is still escaping me. Now, this is going to bother me, by the way. I'm going to have to go and look it up later. Uh, that, that are becoming more um, popular. Dot space dot well dot and country code, USCA, NZAU, uh, all of those, EU for the entire European Union, as well as each country in and of itself has
Every university also.
every university. But there are more popular. There are above those popular uh, other domains to be going with. Uh, but I would absolutely secure the .com if you can. If you can't, definitely secure the .net. Um, those two are pretty analogous for doing business in the digital world.
All you have to do really to find out if you know you you come up with a name that you think would work. You can go into your search engine, whatever choice of search engine that you choose, and do a name domain search, and you'll be able to find if those names are available at .com, .net, so on and so on. And sometimes there'll be a cost difference depending on the company that you utilize. So,
It's called a top level domain, by the way.
aha,
I was forced
Google it.
to Google it,
Mhm.
but that's that goes in line with what it is. It's your domain is what the name of your website is. Perfect example. Right up there, we are the Kraken. uh, our website is wearethekraken.com, and our domain is we are the Kraken, and then the .com is the top level domain. So again, secure those quickly, but actually try to be a little bit smart about how you go about naming your website. Uh, avoid clever tricks. Avoid purposefully misspelling things. Um,
Yeah.
Avoid abbreviating things that don't need to be abbreviated. Uh, if it's something that could be abbreviated, it could also be left out. Is also a good rule of thumb to go with. If you're looking at like uh, uh, Mr. Harry Felker, you can cut the Mr. off because Mr. Harry Felker really doesn't make a difference. Uh, the only time I actually suggest considering things like that is if the name that you want is taken and you're dead set on it. Um, Chef Katrina, she doesn't have chefkatrina.com. That's actually owned by somebody else. The Chef Katrina is her website, and that's another thing that you can do, or you can add the real, like what you know the current president did on his Twitter, and most other
Celebrities.
celebrities do on their social media accounts. The real, um, just to denote that if you're naming your website after yourself, you're not the only person with your name. That is a statistical impossibility at this point. There's 7 billion people on the planet, so um, the likelihood that someone has the same name as you and happens to have a website is pretty high. Uh, I think that's all I got. So to recap real fast,
Be aware of how you spell your name.
Oh, now you're gonna point it out. Avoid using numbers. And dues.
Short, huh?
Dues.
Oh, dues. Oh gosh. Should be putting put me on the spot here because I was chasing cats. Do not let your cat run your website, and but do definitely pay attention of how you lay out your website, your presence. Don't clutter it. Make sure it's clean and your logos, logo work, everything
We'll
from your yeah.
We'll get on that one.
Yeah.
That'll be another episode.
There's that we mentioned about non-confusing names and logos and
Not yet.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
week.
Okay.
Also, keep it simple.
Yeah.
And easy to understand. You know,
Remember.
easy to remember. Memorable.
Yeah.
Memorable. All right, so I think that's it for today. We are over 20 minutes at this point, aren't we? We're over 30 minutes at this
Oh
point.
wow. Look at
And
us.
I need to cook dinner,
Yes.
and
I need to herd some cats.
Donna's gonna herd some cats. Oh wait, no, now I'm good. You're rubbing my butt. Don't stop doing that. I don't mind being on the camera if you're gonna rub my butt. Show your subservience to me.
I am your God.
All right, buddy. Okay, so thanks everybody for stopping by. Remember, if you are a member of the network, share the network with your friends, share the network with your family, share the network with your enemies. I don't care. Get everybody in here. The more eyes on the businesses that are part of the network, the better. If you own a business, if you're thinking about starting a business, get on the network. If you own, if whatever you're doing, we will promote you shamelessly, like we promote everybody shamelessly, whether they like it or not. It's what we do. So, with that being said, everybody stay safe, have a good day, and oh, look, there's a comment. There you go. That's Vinny.
Hi, Vinny. Thank you for
Our
joining
top
us.
fan, Vinny.
He should get a badge.
He does.
He's
a top fan badge.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Also, by the way, special shout out to Timmy Burchett, who has, helped fund this whole operation.
Thank you, Timmy.
And
we love you.
Yeah.
We love you long.
With that.
Lots of